The Dyna Bro era is coming to an end. And in my opinion, it's been a long time coming. The Dyna Bro era hit hard and fast with shows like Sons of Anarchy. But now that once rebellious, stunt-driven motorcycle subculture, famous for that super bro look. Now for you virgins out there, you have to first understand what the Dyna is, and then we'll get into what this subculture is. The roots of the Dyna Bro go way back before Sons of Anarchy, the show. It actually started in California way back in the 70s. And California police departments used FXR Harleys on the road. Taller suspension, better ergonomics, things like that. They wanted to make Harleys faster, more controllable, and more reliable with the new tech. These ideas filtered into West Coast riding clubs. And by the late 1990s, Harley introduced the twin cam Dyna. It had a rubber-mounted engine, lighter feel, much quicker steering than touring bikes, which was what they were using. Riders quickly realized they could be very capable canyon carver bikes. Enter the 2000s. Now this is where the West Coast performance shops really exploded, like Lucky Dave's, Kraus, Big Bear Performance, Speed Merchant, San Diego Customs, so many more. And this is where the club style was actually born. And back then the focus was really truly performance. That's what these guys were going for. But then, Sons of Anarchy happened, brother. Now this is where everything really changed for this subculture. Millions of D-bags started wanting to be motorcycle riders. I'm talking about quarter fairings, T-bars, blacked out Dyna, club patches, the Dickies, the tall socks, the Vans, the Dickinson flannel. It's a uniform. Now it's kind of more of a costume. It's almost silly. But hey, demand actually exploded for this stuff. And places like Instagram really helped accelerate that. Now bear in mind, not only Instagram, but TV shows. Now it was during that Sons of Anarchy heyday, we'll call it, that the Dyna Bro was actually born. So what's the difference between a guy who rides a Dyna and a Dyna Bro? Let me explain. A guy who just rides a Dyna could very likely be from West Coast. He has modified his Dyna for performance. He may be into stunting, might be into some canyon carving. He may even actually just have a very mildly modified original Dyna in its original form. Now the Dyna Bro is a very different creature.
Crikey, look what we have here.
Let's get a closer look. So this guy, maybe he rides a Dyna, maybe it's all black, maybe it's got some performance modifications from the West Coast. Does not necessarily mean he's a Dyna Bro. So to define a Dyna Bro, let's start with the costume. First of all, you probably got a full-face Simpson helmet. That's a given. If you don't, you are not cool. Next, you definitely have one or many Dickinson flannels. Now, note, not throwing any shade at Dickinson here because they do make a really good flannel, top quality products, but it has kind of become the upper half of their costume. The other accessory they may have is a black short leather vest. Sometimes canvas, but it's typically black. The next very important piece here, and this is carried over from 909er and flat bill metal militia culture, is the Dickies shorts, which in my opinion are just pants that aren't long enough, because shorts that are below 4-inch inseam, that's pants, okay? I think we can all agree on that. The next piece of the puzzle here is the socks. For some reason, they have to have like those diabetes socks, I think, that go way up over your calf. It's a style, it's a thing. Some of them have prints on them, American flags, whatever. It is a style. The final piece to this ensemble would be the shoes. Now, when I ride, I like to wear something that would probably protect my little piggies if I happen to go down, God forbid. These guys, maybe they're just stupid or insanely ballsy. They're wearing Chucks or Vans. That's it. Just socks with Chucks and Vans. And I don't get it. But that is the costume. Now for the bike itself, the bike is typically jacked the hell up in the sky. You've got bigger forks in the front. You have really tall shocks in the rear. That doesn't necessarily translate to any meaningful performance unless you do it properly. You've almost always got some sort of T-bars or maybe even really tall risers with some moto bars. Then you've got a quarter or bikini fairing in the front, something really tiny and sleek. You've got mid-mount pegs. You get to sort of be in a half fetal position when you ride, which is really good for long distance, by the way. And then you're either an all-black bike or you went balls to the wall on paint and customization. The other components that make this a Dyna Bro bike are almost certainly some sort of 2-to-1 exhaust performance. You probably have a Mikuni HSR42 carb. That's kind of the recipe for a Dyna Bro, right there. Now let's not forget the pièce de résistance, which is a very self-absorbed attitude that You believe you are much better than everybody else, obviously. So let's get into the nitty-gritty and let's explore what the Dyna Bro really is. So come along with me. Let's take a look what he's up to now. The Dyna Bro has a very self-absorbed image of himself. He thinks he's better than everyone, and he will judge your bike strongly. If you had anything but a Dyna that's like his, you're a piece of Isn't that great? He also has a very hard time making friends. He's commonly found at Neptune's Net, getting hammered and burning wheelies down the road, and getting in fights, sometimes with his girlfriend. Amazing! Or maybe his boyfriend. You don't know these days, it's Los Angeles. Now it appears that he's gone out and gotten himself some tattoos. And he bought himself a Dyna. Mind you, he didn't even build it. He found it on Marketplace, bought it, and just rides it. He bought some other clothes too, because he's got nothing else going on in his life. His personality's absolute ass. But now he believes he's somebody. So now you're asking yourself, how do I identify the guy on a Dyna from a Dyna Bro? Well, it's the guy on a Dyna, nice dude, and he knows how to ride. If he has those two things, probably not a Dyna Bro. Simple as that. If this trend, this subculture hit so fast and hard, and it was so strong, why is it dying now? Well, people are just sick of the cool guy attitude. Nobody wants to hang out with somebody who thinks they're too cool for school, and who has no other personality than, look at my costume, I ride a Dyna. It sucks. I feel, and this is what I'm picking up in the motorcycle community, that people are really gravitating more towards better community, being friends, just going and having a good time. It doesn't matter what you ride. You ride a piece of great, come have fun. That's what people are really wanting now. They want a better, deeper sense of community, and they're kind of tired of the cliquey cool guy, and that literally is like almost the motto of the Dyna Bros is, I'm too cool. So that's why I think this subculture is dying. Now, I'm not saying the style of bike is dying. I think the bikes are really cool. I saw some really awesome Dynas at Born Free. Beautiful works of art. And most of them probably rode pretty well too. I even own a 94 Dyna. Now I'm not doing, the whole works to it. I'm leaving it primarily stock, but it's a great bike, great engine, rides amazing. I love cruising with that thing. But what is actually dying is the psychology and the character surrounding those styles of bikes. This whole subculture's attitude has kind of become pretty toxic, and people are just tired of it. So it's time to close the curtains on that act and move on to the next trend, which I'm sure will be much worse. Now, the Dyna is a fantastic bike. I really want to make sure we don't throw the baby out with the bathwater here, because it should not be overlooked. Like I said, I've got one in stock configuration, but you don't have to leave it there. Here's your options, in my opinion. 1, keep it stock, make a few small upgrades, bring it up to speed technologically, and you've got a wonderful cruiser. Fantastic bike. 2, you add some pipes, change up the bars a little bit, improve your suspension, don't go crazy. Now you've got a much more capable Dyna in its very close to original form. Next step would be pushing that Dyna Bro bike look a little more. Maybe you don't lift it much, you put a fairing on it, you get some T-bars. It still maintains a normal cruiser stance, but you're sitting in the position of the jacked up Dyna Bro bike. Last but not least, you can go full Dyna Bro with it. Now, one of the things that's actually, I think, good about a lot of these trends and subcultures that come up, it's not all bad news. Like, honestly, these subcultures do something great for the industry, and that is that they push innovation. They push ideas. They push new products and technological advances. So thanks to the whole Dyna Bro movement, you have so many choices for what you could do with a Dyna. There's guys out there with great videos teaching you how to work on the things, how to address their weak points, how to make them better. When I say the Dyna Bro era is dying, it's the attitude. It's not all the benefits and cool stuff that came along with it, because an entire style of clothing was kind of birthed from that. An entire style of bike was popularized by the Dyna Bro era. Plus, you had all the technological advancements. A lot of companies were birthed because of the demand for that Dyna Bro style. So if you're considering getting a Dyna, you're looking at them, you think they're cool bikes, don't think that the only thing you can do is add jacked up forks and T-bars and quarter fairings. You got a lot of options out there. Now, after all this wonderful talk on the Dyna Bro era, I truly don't care if you're a Dyna Bro. If you're a nice dude, cool, I'll buy you a beer. Just don't be an